Here are 5 fresh buy signals for August, and these might be stocks that you want to look at. Now, we're going to evaluate each one of these stocks today to see if they fit our OVTLYR Nine Slingshot Setup and could be a great buy for you. We're going to rank them from strong buy to strong sell. So first, we need to look at the trend of the market. What's happening in the market? Is it going up? Is it going down? Well, clearly the market is going up. We've got the trend template with the 10 over 20, price over 50, with a buy signal coming through. So the market trend is absolutely 100% undoubtedly pushing up higher. Now you can apply the same trend template on everything, and we're going to do so today as well. Then the breadth of the market, actually we talked about the signal, still has a buy signal. Now the breadth of the market, however, is a completely different story, and one that I do have some issues with. First, we're getting less and less buy signals, more and more sell signals. That causes me a lot of concern. In fact, we have a bearish crossover in the number of buy signals, meaning market breadth is pointing down. Market breadth is even worse today. The reason that I knew it was yesterday, as I was looking over here, and the energy sector was the only bullish sector on breadth. Every other sector has bearish breadth. All right, meaning I don't want to be owning anything in any of these sectors, but we're still going to rank these. Maybe you feel the compulsion to go put on some stocks. I'm here for you. I'm going to give you the best analysis that I can. So market breadth is not going to be great, and only the energy sector is going to have bullish breadth. Everything else is going to stay bearish breadth. Now let's go look at the fear and greed of the stocks in a couple sectors here. So we're going to be looking at tech sectors. We're going to be looking at the banking sector, and we're going to be looking at the staple sector. And so we're going to be looking at them one at a time. So let's start with AMD. AMD. All right. We're going to look at the stock. We're going to look at the sector here. Now, AMD has bearish breadth on the sector. For sure, hands down, no doubt. This is the tech sector. So bearish breadth. Then the fear and greed in that sector is also waning as well. Waning as well, meaning it's getting more fearful. So I'm not lighting up anything in the tech sector today, at least. You know, that could change over time, but no way. Next, let's look at the headlines for AMD. There was this one headline that says, should you forget Nvidia and buy these two millionaire maker stocks instead? Spoiler alert, number 2, Uber is in a big old downtrend. There's no way I'd be buying it. But AMD was their top one, right? Now, I'm going to read this article here. Nvidia is not the only game in town when it comes to the graphics processing units. AMD also makes GPUs as well as processors, microprocessors, and AI accelerators. The AMD MI3000 AI chips have been particularly successful, reaching $1 billion in sales in less than 2 quarters. They're the fastest ramping product in AMD history, according to CEO Lisa Su. AMD has been reporting strong earnings numbers, including the start of the year. Revenue shot up by 57%, beating analyst expectations. Half of its revenue comes from its data center segment, which grew 57% year over year. And so what does that mean for AMD? Because we're running up into earnings here real soon. And look at this chart. Man, is that a bullish chart? Bullish AF. So let's look at the trend of AMD. AMD. With the 10 over the 20, price over 50, the trend is absolutely bullish AF. This is one bullish AF trend right here on AMD. The signal on AMD, we've had a buy signal active since April, pulling up into August right now, still with that buy signal. The fear and greed has been growing like crazy. AMD's greed is all the way up at 87% right now. Super duper greedy, which causes me concern. Anytime we see elevated levels of fear or depressed levels of greed, what do you think is left to happen, right? When everybody is greedy, what's left to happen? The people are going to start getting fearful, right? The people are going to start getting fearful. So it would not surprise me at all to see AMD do a snap back. But as of right now, it's still growing, and that's what we're looking for, is growing fear or growing greed. And in this case, growing greed. Now, outlier blocks. Outlier blocks are areas on the chart that show very strong support and resistance. And AMD is getting up to the same area that it was back in July of 2024. So if you bought AMD a year ago, literally an entire year ago, you're just now to break even. You are just now to break even. And these people who bought AMD a year ago, who are just now to break even, are very excited to get just now to break even and may be selling their stock out right here on you. Okay. You may be exit liquidity if you are buying AMD at this point. I'm just putting that out there, putting that out in the universe. This is a giant, ugly order block on top of AMD. Now, AMD's running up into earnings. I also do not trade earnings. Are earnings super risky? Of course they are, right? We have seen stocks go up 25% or stocks go down 25% on earnings. AMD is running up into earnings with an order block with a bullish trend. So how would I rank AMD right here? I would rank AMD as a neutral. I mean, this is not one that I would be buying. No way. It does still have a buy signal. So if you are compelled to buy AMD, you've got a lot of stuff working in your favor, but you also have quite a lot working against you. So that is AMD. Let's go to the next stock, which is Microsoft. Microsoft also in the tech sector. Now, that means that we won't have to redo our rankings over here, but let's go take a look at Microsoft. In a big, beautiful trend, right? 10 over 20, price over 50 with a buy signal. The tech sector information won't change, and it is getting more and more greedy. All of that looks really, really sharp. So we're going to do all this right here. Now, Microsoft just reported earnings yesterday, and we just talked about how risky earnings can be. AMD is going to have earnings in a few days, but Microsoft reported earnings, and it's up bigly. It's up tremendously. Microsoft is up at 557. Now, a few days ago, I showed you how to calculate the expected move on earnings, and it blew out the expected move. Microsoft trounced the expected move. The expected move was up as high as 530. Today, it looks like it's going to open up around 557. So that expected move got absolutely dominated. NASDAQ is set for a rip-roaring start as the Meta and Microsoft earnings blow out past forecasts. Both Meta and Microsoft reported earnings. Microsoft, its fiscal fourth quarter earnings per share surged 24%, beating analyst estimates of 27%. The CEO said that cloud and AI is the driving force of the business transformation across every industry and sector. And the pair delivered the kind of earnings most companies can only dream of, says this analyst at AJ Bell, smashing market forecasts by a country mile. Now, like I say, earnings are risky AF. And so I wouldn't trade earnings. Even when something like this comes out, it is still super duper risky to your portfolio. But let's go take a look at any outlier blocks on top of Microsoft. No, it passed through those a few days ago. So Microsoft at this point falls into weak buy category for Chris. Weak buy category. The only things that would help it is if the market breadth was there and if the sector breadth was there. But in the meantime, Microsoft, in my opinion, is a way better opportunity than AMD, given all the data that we have. Let's move to the next stock. Let's go to Nvidia. Nvidia, all right? So still in the tech sector, right? Nothing's changed here. Let's look at the trend of Nvidia. Nvidia has been in a giant trend. 10 over 20, price over 50, with a buy signal and getting more and more greedy. Very similar story to AMD. However, one big difference between Nvidia and AMD is that Nvidia is pushing to new all-time highs, right? New all-time highs is bullish AF, meaning anybody who's ever in the history of time bought Nvidia is now up money. Anybody in the history of time who has ever bought Nvidia is up money. Now, of course, there's been some times here and there you might have lost money, but if you've ever held it over any length of time and still holding it today, you are up money, which is why it's bullish. There's nobody sitting overhead. Remember AMD. People who are at this level where AMD is at today are just now getting out of break even. People who are at Nvidia at this level today are happy and couldn't have ever been happier because they are making more money than they ever have in the history of time. Big difference, huge difference. That's why we look at the outlier blocks. Now, you can get your chart set up exactly the same as mine for free using the free TradingView account with the free script that we have that you can upload into your TradingView account. Your charts can look exactly the same as mine once you sign up over at OVTLYR.com and get access to our Discord. So Nvidia also hits in the weak buy category. Any news on Nvidia? Of course, there's a little bit of news. Morgan Stanley raises their price target to $200 on exceptional AI strength, and Nvidia is opening up at 182 right now. Let's see. I'm sure I highlighted something. Maybe I didn't. Morgan Stanley's team remain optimistic about Nvidia's growth potential. The new target reflects a PE ratio of 33 times its projected 2026 earnings. Now, here's one of the reasons why I really don't care about fundamentals. I don't think fundamentals matter at all. Somebody would look at a PE ratio of 33 and say, that's unbelievably high. I can't believe that. I would never invest in that. However, that same person will be looking at Nvidia going like almost to the moon saying, the PE ratio of 33 times is too high. I can't believe I didn't invest in this, right? When it's up, how much is it up? From this trend change over here, from this trend change here to here, Nvidia's up 60% in 62 days. That's crazy. That's bonkers. That's awesome if you are an Nvidia shareholder, right? Now, let's move to the next stock in a completely different sector. Let's move to SoFi. SoFi is a meme stock. Come at me in the comments because you know it's true. SoFi is a meme stock, but it's in the financial sector. So we need to take a little bit of a different look. But the financial sector, it's actually looking worse. Less and less buy signals, more and more downtrends. The financial sector doesn't look beautiful at all for breadth. And then the financial sector average fear and greed score is getting worse and worse and worse, meaning more and more fear is coming into the financial sector. So I'm not lighting up anything bullish in the financial sector here. Let's go to the stock itself. Let's go to SoFi. We got a 10/20, price over 50. Buy signal came through after earnings. Let's go to the SoFi chart real quick. You'll notice a couple things here. I've been warning you guys about this order block and what's going to happen with earnings. It had earnings and it jumped up huge, bigly, tremendously higher. And then just the next day, it basically came back to the same area right here, right? People in this area took profits, and that's why it came back down. Now, it looks like it's going to open up a little bit this morning, which is great for SoFi bros. But let's go back here with the trend, the signal, and the fear and greed on SoFi is growing, right? It came down right before earnings, and now after earnings is starting to push up a little bit higher. So we're going to mark SoFi green right here. And it did break this order block today, or a couple days ago, I should say. So we're going to give it a weak buy on this category here. So SoFi bros, this is a meme stock. But meme stocks also have some news. SoFi's loan platform shines in the second quarter, driving profitability and growth. I'm out of free articles. Oh, there you go. I love going live. Let's go to the next stock. Let's go to HIMS. HIMS is a meme stock. Come at me, bro. HIMS is in the staples sector. So let's redo this as well. The staples sector also looking bearish. Less buy signals, more downtrends. This sector is not looking beautiful. And while it was getting more and more greedy, the greed has peaked in the sector and is starting to get slightly more fearful. So the sector here, not going to help you for HIMS. Let's go to the stock. We've got a 10/20, price over 50 with a buy signal. So that's looking beautiful. And in fact, if we go to HIMS, it's got earnings coming up real soon, right? Real soon. You can see this. And I do love to buy up into earnings, but I don't love to buy and hold through earnings. So the trend is great. The signal is great. Fear and greed. Let's see. Yeah, it's getting more and more greedy. That's what you want to see right here. Any news articles right here? Oh, how about that? Can sustained product demand drive HIMS stock before Q2 earnings? And so that's the thing, right? Earnings are they happen 4 times a year. What about the other 99% of the time? This is what we're trying to figure out, is what's going on the other 99% of the time. And it is absolutely in a bullish trend. There's where that buy signal came, by the way. Look at that huge move up. The company ended first quarter 2025 with nearly 2.4 million subs, up 38% over last year. And of course, nothing has come out in the meantime to drive the fundamentals behind it. Everything that you're seeing right here is driven by more people getting greedy into the stock, especially running up into earnings. Like I say, one of my all-time favorite plays, running up into earnings. So no order blocks on top of SoFi right now, on top of HIMS, which gives that a weak buy as well. So listen, we've covered 5 stocks today. Not all of them really are awesome fresh buy signals for August, but I want you to let me know in the comments, where am I wrong? I'm sure that you have all kinds of amazing ideas that you could put in the comments to tell me how wrong I am. And that is on you. But do me a favor, if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, click one of these 2 videos, and we'll talk soon.